Going live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Outschool Collaboration. And I'm super excited today. I have Justin Dent with me. Hey, Justin.
Hey there, how's it going?
Good. So let me see if I can get this right. I wrote it down. You are the executive director of Outschool.org, right?
That is it. That's me.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Justin, as you said. I was born and raised in New York, in Harlem, where I have lived up until recently.
Okay.
Um, and I got into working in education by way of just really seeing a lot of problems with equity and access when I was in college myself. And
Mhm.
so I started a nonprofit called Ethos back in when I was a sophomore in college,
Wow.
that worked to provide more resources for Black and Brown kids, specifically in low-income first-generation kids in school and in college, and ran that for 7 years before joining Outschool to lead Outschool.org. So I've always kind of worn my hat in
Mhm.
education in my career, and it's just the thing that I care the most about.
Great. Oh, I think that's awesome. Especially, I mean, most of my viewers on here are teachers or parents. I think I told you that before. So I know kids are near and dear to our hearts. So I thought this was an excellent program. So yeah, outschool.org. You want to maybe explain to who's ever watching? It keeps blipping on my screen. Normally it gives me a count and everything, but I can't see any of that today. So um, maybe you can let our viewers know a little bit about outschool.org and if it's a good fit for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So Outschool started outschool.org in March when school closures were starting to happen, and we saw a tremendous amount of growth on the Outschool platform.
Yeah.
Uh, the Outschool leadership thankfully realized that even though a lot of families were turning to Outschool as a resource in kind of the trying moments around school closures and to this day, that the families who really needed access to these, the resources of Outschool and the quality teachers on Outschool wouldn't be able to afford them. Even though Outschool tends to be very affordable for many families,
Yeah.
we know that particularly through this moment, there are a lot of families that can't afford, $10 per class. And so we started outschool.org as a way to remedy that by providing free classes for families who classify themselves as low income or in need of financial assistance. And so we started off providing first $50 of financial assistance per family who registered through outschool.org.
Mhm.
But today we're very thankful and happy to be able to provide $300 per family that registers. And that's because the Outschool community has been so supportive of our efforts, and Outschool has been really lucky to be growing in this moment. And we've also found a lot of really great philanthropic support. So anybody that any families, any kids, really any communities that who need access to resources like what exist on Outschool
Mhm.
can register for the $300 of financial assistance through outschool.org, and they're immediately qualified for those funds.
Oh wow. That's excellent. I can't believe it's grown that fast. And it was March of this year?
It was March of this year. It was March of
Wow.
this year. It's crazy. Amir, Outschool CEO, had always planned to have a nonprofit division at some point, um, but that was in 3 years down the road. But I think as 2020 has shifted a lot of things,
Yeah.
we saw the need for it and stepped up with Outschool.org, and have been really fortunate to not only be able to do our family program, but we are also now making grants of Outschool classes to community organizations, so local nonprofits, schools, and school districts. And we're also making some cash grants to support in-person learning centers, because we know that a lot of low-income families and communities right now are struggling to access things like technology, Wi-Fi, social
Right.
services, things as basic as food. So we're trying to support community organizations that are providing that.
That's great. Hey, Kelly, thanks for coming. I can't help but notice your background. It's beautiful. And
Well,
all
that's
of
why
that.
I said up until recently, I lived in Harlem. I recently made the move to Tulum, Mexico for a few months to escape New York winter. So that's the.
Nice. Now, how have you guys been doing with the weather and everything? I know we're talking about outschool.org, but I just got to ask.
It's been rainy. This is probably one of the few sunny days we've seen recently. We've been certainly getting the brunt of a lot of hurricanes here, but everything's been we've been safe and healthy, and
Good.
still, one of the consequences of living in the jungle is rain. So
Right? Yeah.
territory.
Hey, and Rebecca's here too. Hey guys, if you have questions for Justin, please put them down in the chat, and I will share them with him. So, how long have you been a part of Outschool in general? Are you also a teacher with them, or how do you?
No, so welcome to 2020, right? Lives in the background. I just joined Outschool in, let me see now, at the beginning of July. So I'm a recent a recent addition to the Outschool family.
Great. And I've heard that Outschool family has grown so much. When I was with you all on the Zoom at that town hall meeting, I was blown away by some of the numbers.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's incredible, and it's hard to keep up.
yeah.
Honestly, it's hard to keep up, but it's an amazing team, and really fortunate and lucky to be part of it.
Yeah, this is important work, this outschool.org. Do you mind if I show them the website?
Please go for it. I would be honored.
I think it has the numbers on there too that I was just like, wow, about all of it. So let's see if this works. Right here. Can you let me know if you can see it? Yeah.
It says that you've started to share the screen. There we go.
Uh,
Up. It's up.
you can't see the
I can see it.
outschool.org?
I can see it.
Oh, you can see it now? Okay. So this is the website here, and I do want to point out that there is a spot if you are just the opposite and you have funds that you can donate. You could also go and help outschool.org and help some more children. So I think that's awesome. We should spread awareness to that as well. Stop me anytime, Justin. I just talk and talk. So
Not at all. I feel like I've been rambling here. So
oh no, they're used to me rambling. So that's what I do on my channel. I just like talk to people. Okay, so I'm sure you are proud of these numbers. Do you want to share them?
yeah, absolutely. I think when we're fortunate to have some big updates here. We I think at this point have served over 23,000 learners.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's because we've been able to increase the amount of money that each family can register for. Right now, we've seen an average of around $100 per student, so that equates to roughly 10 learning hours for each student that uses outschool.org. And we've now kind of committed over or closer to $1.5 million to the program, and
Wow.
still have funds there to be used. And so again, this is a plug so that if you know anybody in your community who could benefit from these resources, please encourage them to go to outschool.org and apply. And as you know, and as probably many of the people on this channel know who are familiar with Outschool, it's not surprising that so many of our learners who have come through outschool.org have had an incredibly positive experience. The teachers on Outschool are what make Outschool, and just giving students access to that has been life-changing for many. And hearing some of the stories from both parents and their kids about the impact just being able to take classes throughout school and through outschool.org has really been heartwarming. Yeah, and you can even see here we put some of the parent quotes from families who took advantage of outschool.org.
Now, last time I didn't ask this, but are the same teachers that teach Outschool are also the outschool.org teachers, right? It's the same group of teachers, right?
Yeah, there's no discernible difference between any learner who is taking classes sponsored by outschool.org and any other students in the class. So the teacher won't know the difference, and no students will know the difference. And they have any learner who comes through Outschool through outschool.org has access to the entire suite of classes on the platform, which I heard yesterday are now over, nearly 100,000 classes, which is pretty incredible.
Wow, that's great. Is there anything else on here we should show them or talk about?
I mentioned earlier, we are doing kind of 2 new programs that extend beyond just our support for families. And one of those is our community partnerships grant. We realize that a lot of the lowest income and highest need communities that Outschool.org wants to serve might not hear about us through kind of our traditional channels and through our traditional networks. And so we're making a really concerted effort to work with community institutions and nonprofits that have been supporting these communities for years and know how these communities operate and how best to serve the families that they work with. And so we're really lucky to be working with a great group of grantees to provide them access to the Outschool platform and to register on behalf of their learners. And so we're working with groups like Boys and Girls Clubs all across the country, in addition to school districts, to provide that. And that being said, if any of you also know of any organizations that you think would be well suited to partner with Outschool.org to get more kids access to Outschool classes, please have them reach out. And we are accepting grant applications on a rolling basis for that program.
Okay, great. I feel like proud to be a part of all of this. I really do. So when you were talking about it the first time, I was like, wow, we've got to share this with others. So, all right, that is the outschool.org website. I did see a question in the chat. I'm going to go back to the live chat. This is from Rebecca. Rebecca said, what are the qualifications to apply for the grant?
That's a great question, Rebecca. What Outschool.org's intention is to provide classes for families who are low income. We have taken a very broad definition of what that means, particularly through this moment in our lives when, the formal measures of low income or, things that might have been from last year don't necessarily apply right now. So we being, so trusting of our Outschool community, really leave it to the families to make the decision for themselves as to whether or not these are resources that they need. So on the outschool.org site, you will be directed to a registration form. It will ask you some questions such as household size, income, employment status, et cetera, et cetera. None of those are used to disqualify you. Rather, they're a way for us to just collect information and to really understand more how we can best serve our community that's coming through outschool.org. So in a very direct response to the question, if you think you qualify for financial assistance, you qualify for financial assistance.
Great. I was a little bit surprised to hear that the first time you mentioned that before. And I am one that trusts everybody. But I think you're right. Everyone is financially hit differently at this time too right now, so what may not have qualified somebody before very well might now. So, wow. Hey, Stephanie, thanks for coming. And Kelly said, this sounds wonderful. If you're here, I see we had 12 people here. If you're here, please let us know who you are. And are you a teacher? Are you here for information? All of the above. Just really glad you're here. So let me check what other questions. I think we've already pretty much touched on the scholarships or the grants and the qualifications. So how can we as Outschool teachers help?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're working on finding ways that Outschool teachers can contribute or gift classes. We don't have that functionality yet, but that's something that is in the works. And so really right now, the best way for Outschool teachers to help the Outschool.org community is really to spread the word about these resources being available. We know that so many of you are deeply steeped in your communities and have know people who could use these resources, and some of those learners might also be students who have taken your classes before. Might also be struggling financially, and not everybody who is on Outschool knows about Outschool.org. So I would, encourage you to just spread the word as much as you can and as much as
Yeah.
you're. And then if you have any ideas in terms of how you can contribute or help, or things that you would like to see on the Outschool platform that you think would increase our ability to better serve low-income learners, don't hesitate to reach out to me at any time. Maybe we can put my email up in the
I
chat.
was going to ask you if you wanted me to add your email or not. I know you gave it out to teachers that day, but I didn't know if you wanted me to put it on here.
That'd be great. I'm always
What's
happy to
that?
do that. I said that'd be great if you put my email in. That'd be.
Oh, of course. And it's easy. What is it? Justin@outschool.com,
Yeah.
right? Or no, Justin. Did I lose you, Justin, or are you still here?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
It's
Justin,
Justin@outschool.com.
what's that?
It's Justin@outschool.com.
Oh, okay. That's what I had at first, and then I second guessed myself. And do you notice I've been teaching for so long, every time I don't hear you, I put my hand up. So embarrassing, but
Yeah.
okay. And I'll also put that in the description box. So if you're watching the replay and you have questions or you wanted to email him, I'll put it in the description box for you. And I only have one other question. So guys in the chat, if you have questions, put them in now. And to donate, do you suggest people just go through the site and click that donate button? Is that the best way to help out?
Yeah, that'd be great. If you're in a position to even donate $5 or $8,
Oh,
everything counts. So there is no minimum donation size. And yeah, just you can go on and click donate on outschool.org, and that will lead you to our kind of donation portal. You can make a contribution of whatever size you're able, and everything helps.
I didn't even think of that. I guess to me, I was thinking donate like companies donate or people that have, more finances to donate. But I didn't think you could donate any amount. I guess it makes perfect sense to be able to
Yeah,
donate any amount.
yeah, no, I think our average donation through that button in particular is about $25. But the great thing about that is that funds almost 3 classes, right, for
Wow.
students. So it really does help, and it does go a long way.
That's awesome. I'm super excited now. Maybe I'll have to go on there later on and do it live so people can see how easy it is and do it. So that is all I have for questions. Anything else we need to talk about or that you wanted to let everyone know?
No, I think if you are an Outschool teacher or a teacher in general, which all of your audience is, just a big thank you for all the work that you do. From both me personally and from Outschool, we so appreciate you and all of the work that you do.
Thanks. Thank you so much for coming out. And I hope you don't mind. I stole your picture from your profile for the thumbnail.
Oh, no, please, by all means. I know I was supposed to send it to you, and I completely forgot. Not
I
a
was
problem.
like, I don't think he'll mind. So yeah, guys, feel free to either share this video or just share this information with everybody that you feel might need or that could benefit from Outschool. And like he said, if you can donate, you can click that little button. I want to donate. Love that there is no minimum. Exactly, Rebecca. Me too. Because we did talk about outschool.org once, and none of us thought to like just check the button to see what it was.
Awesome.
All right. Well, everyone in the chat, thank you so much for coming. And Justin, thanks for your time today and to talk about this amazing program. I'm super excited to be a part of it, and we'll share it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Don't forget to like the video so we can get those analytics up so we can share with more people. All right. Bye.